And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. I'm Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much for tuning in. Gerald Glassford with the Lakers Fast Break Pop Culture Cosmos with the latest, of course, in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, right there for you on the Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, Josh Peterson and I cover CinemaCon, Assassin's Creed Black Flag getting resynced, Metro 2039, and more. So go ahead and check it out today on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm so glad that you can breathe now, JSJ, because the Lakers did get the victory. Absolutely. But also, as well, wanted to give a big shout out to Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, go ahead and check him out over there. John Costas, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. I don't think he'll be here today. I think he mentioned the other day he wouldn't be here for the first two games. So John Costa will not be here, but go ahead and check out his 3 minute report. Indeed, should be a good one when you get a chance. Lakers Corner. Also, of course, my man at Drip Show Shop. You know he does great deals on skate decks right here. You know he does great deals on canvas art right behind me with Luka and Kobe and LeBron. You see right behind me. You know he does great things with pillows right here. So you know what? I keep telling you, I'm going to keep telling you, and I'm going to keep telling you because he does such a tremendous job out there. You got to go ahead and support him too by asking what you can do to go ahead as far as get a great gift that's sports or pop culture related today by hitting up at Tripso Shop on social media. I'll tell you what, though, great game for the Lakers. I said it before we start the series. Before we started the series, the Lakers had to take the two in LA. And you know what? With a concerted effort, a team effort in both occasions, they not only came out and top on number one, in game number two, they did it once again. Absolutely a great performance by the Lakers. Even with Kevin Durant coming back in the lineup, they get the victory. They played hard, they played with toughness, they hit the boards, they didn't let Houston run away with the rebounding edge this time around. It was much closer. Actually, they only lost by 5, but the offensive rebounds were a little bit closer. But the Lakers put up a fight, and even though their field goal percentage wasn't as good this time around, only 46% from the field, they shot 46, that same amount from three. And with Marcus Smart having a terrific game for him, LeBron James, vintage LeBron James once again. And Luke Kennard showing it wasn't a fluke. He got 23 himself. LeBron with 28, Marcus with 25, Luke Kennard with 23. 5 big steals, 8 steals combined for Smart and Kennard. And the Lakers with a just a fabulous victory. They're up 2-0 on the Houston Rockets as the game 3. It goes now. The series heads towards Houston, but with the Lakers up 2-0. Absolutely indeed. And great to have you here. Looking forward to bringing Joe on and Legend hopefully as well. John, great to have you here. Vern, Rusty Nail, Craig, also my man Craig. What's going on at Tripso Shop? Right there, of course. Silver, great to have you here. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by. Mateja, great to have you here. Fight on, Trojan. Absolutely indeed. El Rosto, great to have everyone here. Absolutely a fantastic victory. I know you guys are all excited. You guys are all happy. It is just great to have the Lakers in a position now, especially seeing that there's not only one, not only two, but 3 series where the home team lost one of their first 2 games. And yes, the Lakers, expected by many to be one of those teams, was not. Expected by many to be a team that would be behind the 8 ball heading to Houston, was not. A team in the Houston Rockets who was the favorites, who were the favorites going into the series, are down 2-0, and the Lakers have the edge. Maybe they can now buy some time for another game for Luka and Austin. We'll wait and see. Luka and Austin are both hitting the practice court now, getting closer and closer to getting back on the court. And now they can go on as far as get ready, get their therapy that they need, get right, and at least healthy enough to play, knowing that the Lakers are up 2-0. So I want to hear your thoughts. You guys are happy out there. I can tell you guys are happy and full of life out there. It's great to see. Vern says, I live in Houston. They said it was going to be easy. Could be easy for the Lakers, Vern. And absolutely, indeed, Vern, they did take care of business. The Lakers did absolutely just a great performance by this team. Was able to just gritty. Gritty is the word I would use for it because every time Houston came back, closed the lead with two within three or four, the Lakers just would not let that lead give up. And just to tell you what, they just absolutely could not provide a better defensive performance than they could give out what they did. So you saw hustle, you saw effort, you saw absolutely what they could do. Crashing the boards, I was hoping they could do a little bit better, and they did a little bit better than what happened, what we saw on Saturday. But even with the decided offensive rebounding edge, once again, for Houston, it wasn't enough as the Lakers, they get the victory once again, 101 to 94, up 2 games to zero. Absolutely fantastic. Juan, great to have you here. Juan, Hassan, great to have my old favorites back as far as you guys as well. Been long time viewers in and out. Love to have you back. What's up, Gerald? Great game tonight by Luca. Luke of Kennard and Smart, absolutely. Luke Kennard and Smart doing their best. Luca and Austin impersonation indeed. And here today to go ahead and talk about today's game. Rodell, what's going on, my friend? Hopefully all is well with you. Great to have everyone here and here today to talk about today's game and the NBA playoffs because I want to go into that because there were two home teams that were upset today. Good man indeed. It is, of course, the guy that heads up I Got Next Sports Media. It is Legend. Legend, great to have you here. I hope you're on the mend, my friend. I hope all is getting better for you, my friend. Your thoughts. Kevin Durant came back into the game. He came back onto the court. He provided them what he could, but thank goodness for the Lakers, it wasn't enough.
Oh, Trojan Fight. This is a secret lab chair. It's a pretty good, comfortable chair. It was definitely a interesting game. KD came back, and that offense is just straight garbage. I just gotta be honest. That offense is horrible. They have a lot of problems, and boy, a lot of people have lost their money right now around the world. And I can definitely say this series look like it might be over already. It look like it might probably end in five for the Lakers. Houston just got a lot of problems. It's just you can't ignore the offensive issues. They can grab all the rebound they want, but when you got dudes shooting air balls, side of the backboard, just no good and well, you can give them the Vando treatment. A lot of them dudes can be given the Vando treatment. They can't shoot. Just leave them open. Trout KD, leave them open. 9 out of 10 they're gonna miss it. They're just that awful on offensive end. And then lastly, man, Udoka, he may get out coached badly right now. JJ is running circles around Buddy right now, and it's just bad. This give me 2023 Memphis Grizzly vibes right now. That's what it feels. You feel like you're
Well,
watching a team collapse and gonna be some major changes coming.
I agree with you, Legend, because outside of Kevin Durant was initiating their offense. If he wasn't initiating their offense, it really was a struggle, which is a surprise because Sengun has been noted as a guy that as a secondary playmaker can really do a lot of things, but his performance, he was 9 of 20 today, but he has just not been able to step up in the limelight. I mean, 2011 today, it just seemed like the I don't know, it was very unimpressive for him in both games so far, Legend.
Yeah, he's been struggling. He just at this point almost like disappeared out this series. He just can't get nothing going offensively. A lot of turnovers, just playing bad basketball altogether, and did a dumb, stupid foul at the end too of the game that just like head scratchers. It just man, DeAndre Ayton just shut him down. It looked like he just got him on the ropes right now. Them tied him up, made sure you ain't going nowhere at this point because he's been struggling the whole series, and Thompson getting cooked by Luke, making Luke look like Steph Curry out here right now. The way he out here cooking, it looks that bad.
Absolutely, indeed. Great to have you here. Please go ahead and support Legend at I Got Next Sports Media if you can. A like and subscribe on his YouTube channel. Art Carino, great to have you here. Kenneth Stone, haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Hopefully, all is well with you. Vern, of course, Young Advocates, great to have you guys here. It is, of course, the Lakers going up 2-0 as they head to Houston Friday night. The Lakers win 101-94. And here today to talk about today's game, a good man indeed. He was watching with us on Discord right there. Didn't get the great news with the Dodgers, but got the great news with the Lakers going up 2-0. It is Joe Soro. Joe, great to have you here. I think we want to start with JJ because JJ, with one exception, which I don't know if you said you didn't want to talk about it, then you did want to talk about it, then you didn't want to talk about it. With one notable exception, he is hitting all the right buttons on his rotations. He is hitting all the right buttons on his schemes. They are finding ways to go ahead and nullify the Houston Rockets offense and making life very difficult for them. The defense has got to get some credit, and in turn, JJ has got to get some credit as well.
It was defense all the way with a few bad mistakes, but even that Laravia mistake, he came back and made up for it with a turnover on the Lakers side. There's been an attitude for a while now with this team, with Luka, without Luka, with Reeves, without Reeves. I don't even know what to say anymore about the focus and the execution of this team and the talent deficiency there and still being able to do what they're doing. This is as good as I've seen them play all year, and they're doing it at the biggest stage. Houston might have a horrible offense, but this is still a 50-win team in the West. It's not like the Lakers are beating Houston with Luka and Reeves. Could you guys imagine if those guys were playing right now? I think every game would be.
Joe, do we still have you here, Joe? There you go. Go ahead, Joe. Got you back.
Okay. Yeah. You got me. Everything good?
Yeah, everything's back. You were lost for a couple seconds there, but we got you back.
I don't know if you guys heard everything I said, but I think we got to talk about LeBron James. the numbers tonight were 28, 8, and 7, but I don't think those numbers really explain how unbelievable this guy has been and how unbelievable he's been the last two games. If they can get this series done in 6, let's say, that'll give Luka and Reeves enough time to likely get back. And I didn't wish this on anyone, but this Wembanyama, that the problem with him is, I know it's a concussion, I know he hit his head, but I feel like it's always something with him. Especially when he says something like getting to 65 games was the big kind of like award after everybody's creaming all over themselves over this Defensive Player of the Year award this year. Like, I mean, it's almost like Shohei Ohtani kind of type stuff where it's just nonstop adulation to him, right? So that they can eventually tear him down. We know how that works because they're already starting to try to do that to Ohtani. But the problem with Wembanyama is I don't trust him to be healthy. So what does that mean for the Lakers? Well, it means if the foundation is starting now with what they have right now, and if they're going to add more talent and build this into a contender, a year in and year out contender with superstars like Luka, I like the Lakers' chances of being a very, very productive team for the next decade. And if they get out of Houston, they're likely going to play Oklahoma City. And in any year other than the last few years, I'd say, hey, man, let's see what's up. But, man, I say whoever wins that series is going to win the title. So I don't know. I'm just kind of still speechless at how amazing these guys are playing, how hard they're playing, and how focused they are. Even the mistakes, they're really busting their rear end, and they're making timely shots. They made timely shots all game today, whether it was Rui, whether it was Marcus Smart, whether it was LeBron, whether it was Kennard. Even Jackson Hayes made some shots and got to the free throw line. What can you say, man? If it's because Houston stinks, oh well, it is what it is. It's 2-0. They did what they're supposed to do. They won both games at home. What's the likelihood that they'll lose the series? I don't know. Probably very low at this point, especially if they take one out of Houston. They take one out of Houston, this series is likely over. And that's kind of where I'm at on that.
Once again, the Lakers win 101-94. It is Joe Sorrell from the Joe Sorrell Experiment, legend from I Got Next Sports Media, and me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. Truly appreciate you stopping by. Lakers now head to Houston with a 2-0 lead. Thank you, Pinty, for the super chat. Truly appreciate it. He says KD with 9 turnovers, Marcus Smart and Luka Kennard. And I touched on that in the beginning as far as the number of steals that they got, legend. 8 steals combined between those two. A lot of that on KD. KD, you see, when you're asking him to put a lot on his plate outside of scoring, it again, like we saw in Houston, in those 2 games in Houston, it is really hard for him to go ahead and be a table setter for other players. You're seeing it right there. You're seeing the issues. When he has to go ahead and create for himself, he's one of the best on the planet that does it. As a scorer, as a shooter, as someone who can stand, who has the height, absolutely. But when you're asking him to set up for others, legend, as we're seeing once again, which is obviously what the Lakers want him to do, is to try and set up for others, that has become a problem once again.
Yeah, it's just become a problem. He had a lot of turnovers in this game, especially the second half. Just a lot of trouble with the double teams, and that's what happened when you don't have a point guard. You got Kevin Durant having to play PG when he shouldn't have to. And it's affecting. He just can't handle the double teams, and I kind of hate to say this, but damn, KD, if it really is true that you had that burner account, and you said everything, you weren't lying, buddy. You was not lying in that burner account. That was true. You was right.
What do you say? What do you say now? I didn't hear about that.
What do you say, legend?
What did he say on his burner account?
It was like maybe a couple of weeks ago when he mentioned about, I guess, the quote unquote, they kind of dogged a lot of his teammates saying what they can't do, how bad the team is, and looking like everything he said is true. I want to go back on Twitter and see can I find it.
You said it's his burner account, so who's following him in his burner accounts, by the way?
Probably a lot of people.
A lot of people. I know it was in the news too.
Intel, great to have you here. Truly appreciate it. Young, I'll get to your question in just a sec. Intel with the super chat. Good thing we have Marcus Smart because we had Jake Dumb. Nick Laravia, Bronny James, not giving the Lakers a whole lot, and we'll touch on Bronny here in a little bit. But Jake Laravia, yeah, not really a good performance. And I know that John Costa is saying to everyone out there, "You're right. I was right somewhere out there." But I want to go ahead and hit up, and I appreciate the super chat. I want to hit up Young Advocates talking about Joe. Well, how do you feel about Rui's performance? I think it's been solid. It got 15 on Saturday, I believe, and 13 today. Solid performance. He wasn't exploited too much on defensive end. He actually gave you a lot of great effort. Did crash the boards when needed, which is something he doesn't do very well. Just don't ask him to do a layup. Just don't ask him to try a layup, because that's like an adventure in and of itself, Joe.
I just want him to do as much. I would like him to get to that elbow and hit that mid range. He is really good when he's in that mode.
Really good at the mid range,
and he does hit timely threes every now and then. And he hit 3 out of 6 tonight.
Layup,
43 minutes.
Layup didn't hit the rim.
Well, that's always been an issue. Layups for him with any kind of contact, he just doesn't respond well to that. I don't know it's hard to criticize anyone on this team at this point, because this is who they are. And a lot of these guys are putting up so much effort. And this is where the defense comes in handy when you have that effort. If you're going to be playing this kind of defense and we have to endure the inadequacies of the offensive game, I don't really have, especially if you're a guy that's challenged there. You can't get angry. It is what it is. We just don't want DeAndre Ayton to fumble the ball. That's all we ask. And can you please hit your free throws? Like this, the basic stuff. And they really did it tonight. I would have liked to have had a better, I always want a better free throw situation. But, I guess they still hit, almost 80%? That's fine, I guess.
79. Much better than on Saturday.
I'll tell you what, man, these guys are hitting threes pretty consistently. Marcus Smart, that corner three at the end there, that was the dagger.
Yeah, they were 46% from three, 46% overall.
That was the dagger. That was the one that I think took the life out of Houston at that point. And JJ Redick has these guys on a string, and they're all pulling their own weight. It's still a proud moment. I'm very proud of the team, despite whatever happens. They have played their rear ends off. I haven't seen this much grit in a very, very long time. It's easy to look at the 2020 team and the 2021 team and say, oh, well, that was the last time we saw. No, championship teams are championship teams. This is not supposed to be a championship team currently playing. It's just not. And in a lot of ways, even with Luka and Austin, there, because you have Oklahoma City and you have really at this point, it's really Oklahoma City. It's really Oklahoma City and everyone else. So I'm going to continue to enjoy every game as much as I can. And it's a lot easier to enjoy the game when you have this kind of effort. And LeBron James continues to grow in terms of my fandom for him. He is unbelievable. That is an amazing athlete. That guy has mastered basketball in every way you can master basketball. It's just did you see that slam dunk contest type dunk there in the second quarter?
Yeah, I was like, what a weird time to go ahead and show off a double clutch pump like that. I'm just
this is a 41-year-old man playing against athletic freaks and beating them. He's bringing it to them. They're double teaming him, can't stop him. They're covering him on the baseline. They're covering him at the 3-point line. They're covering him in the paint. It doesn't matter. This guy is wrecking every single one of these guys. It doesn't matter who it is. There's not a single player on Houston's team that can handle LeBron James. And these are guys that are 20 years younger than him. 20. This is not you're playing at the Y and you have an ex-retired NBA player playing with a bunch of schleppers. These are guys that are all defensive team type players and guys that are borderline all-stars. It is phenomenal what he's doing. And if I was not a Laker fan, I would still be cheering for him. Because you have to respect this. If you really know sports, you have to respect this. And most of the people who talk don't respect themselves, let alone a sport or anybody else. They're sewage. They're sludge. They're useless to humanity and anything productive. When you get away from that and you actually have a brain and you actually have an understanding of things, this guy regardless of what happens, turn me into a LeBron James. He has turned me into a fan of his because of this. This is what he's done this last 3-4 months. There's just not a lot of guys that can do this. There isn't a lot of guys that can do this. I would say tennis players are the only ones that I see do this kind of stuff.
At that age.
At that age. Yeah. That's it, man. And that's an individual sport.
Or golfers. I'd say golfers.
Golfers start to hit the skids, and they're like it's hard. It's hard for them.
Still,
and I know that ages. Yeah.
There's still some that in their 40s still win a lot of major tournaments. Phil Mickelson in his 40s was still.
Yeah, he snuck one in there, and then I think Tiger snuck in his last one in there. I know Jack was 46, and I think he's still the oldest to win a major. Yeah. But and those are all-time greats, by the way. Obviously, that's Jack Nicklaus could say. You could say that Jack Nicklaus is the LeBron James of golf and vice versa. I can't give enough adulation. I can't give enough credit to what's going on here. If you've watched sports as long as I have, you don't see 41-year-olds looking like they're 21. He looked like 21 today. He played 39 minutes. And he didn't even look tired at the end. You could tell sometimes. Like, I saw Kobe getting tired sometimes. I saw guys getting tired. Hell, I even saw Jordan in that Game 7 against Indiana breathing hard, right? This guy was built. He was built to play basketball. He like God made him, created him to play basketball. Just like Ray Lewis was born to play linebacker in the NFL. That the fact that guy is still walking, not looking like what Hulk Hogan looked like before he died, or looking like Ronnie Coleman, I don't understand how the hell Ray Lewis walks like a regular human being, playing 20 years in the NFL at the tenacity that guy played with. I saw that guy destroy people for 20 years playing football. And it's like nothing. Some people are just born, they're meat, they're bones, like, and that's LeBron James. And then you add the fact that he loves the sport still and still wants to play. I mean, I don't know what else to say anymore. That's it. That's kind of what I took away from tonight's game, with the fact that these guys played their rear ends off, and Marcus Smart was phenomenal, and Kennard was awesome again, and JJ Redick absolutely coached the last two games. He coached phenomenal games.
Once again, the Lakers with the victory 101-94, up 2-0 as they take the series back to Houston. Before I get it to you, Legend, I did want to mention the super chat from 805. I did not forget it. I just had to make sure I scrolled up to see it. 805 says, hopefully Luka doesn't mess up the momentum. 805, Joe said that also that, Joe, I thought you said that LeBron and Bronny were assholes.
I don't know if I meant to say it literally. Did I call them assholes? Actually, that doesn't sound like I said so.
I think you have.
I called both of them assholes in like a derogatory way, or just saying that.
Saying that, I think you were saying. You said, because you always tried to disassociate your thoughts on them on the court or their social media stuff, as opposed to not hating them personally. So,
well, I don't know what Bronny does with his social media, so I don't know if that's necessarily what that is.
Better not be.
I don't think I called him an asshole in terms of their activity recently on outside the court. If I called them an asshole, it's more of like maybe it was just an expression. I don't think LeBron is an asshole. I'm an asshole. I'm a jerk. I'm an asshole. I'm a prick. LeBron doesn't have that kind of personality. He's passive aggressive.
But there's no noise. That's the best part about this, Joe. There's no ambient noise, which is the best part about
it. It's part of why this is working. It's a big part of it. I don't know for sure this is what he did, but it looks like he told everyone to shut up. And that we've talked about his clan. That guy is the alpha in that group. He has the power to tell these guys, what are you doing telling people, strangers, that they should trade Reeves for Jared Jackson. Like, that stuff can't happen. And it looks like he put a kibosh on that. And since he's done that, look at the results. His focus, his execution. Look how the team is playing. You can't come back now and say Luka and Austin are out. They're arguably 1 and 2 because everybody's obsessed with this. Whose team is it? And who's option 1 and option 2 and option 3? There is no option 2 or 3. They take turns. You want to call Luka the 1? Well, he's the point guard on the team, and he's a guy that can drop 33, 8 and 8 every game in his prime, and it's Luka. So, okay, I'll give you that one as the 1. But LeBron has the capability of being a 1 when Luka's not being a 1 in that moment too. You're seeing it right now. They beat Houston without Durant. They beat Houston with Durant. They beat Houston in Houston. They beat Houston in LA. What is it? What are you going to say? Oh, well, they stink. Houston stinks. Okay, their offense sucks. There's no denying that. But so do the Lakers' offense. The Lakers' offense sucks too. Without Luka and AR. So what's the argument here? 41-year-old punking a bunch of 20-year-olds. And I'm not talking about 29-year-olds either. I'm talking about guys in their early 20s who can jump out the building, who can shoot from anywhere in the building, and then on top of that, they got a center who's supposed to be a borderline all-star, who got so frustrated at the end of the game, he fouled like 8 times. And I think the refs were like, okay. Hey, now we got to call it after the 8th one. What? Everybody watched the game. This is what it is. We're just interpreting it like it should. The Lakers have outclassed Houston. They match up very well against them with any form of player that's in there. It doesn't matter. They've beaten them 4 in a row. Without, this guy's a 1, this guy's a 2, this guy's a 3 in LA, in Houston. So what else are? Well, the Lakers haven't beaten Houston standing on their heads. What is it? Okay, so now what if they lose game 3? Are we going to go back to this? Oh, well, see, Houston's going to make a run now, right? Is that what's going to happen? Is everybody in Houston going to play better in Houston? Probably. But I would be in shock if the Lakers lose this series now. The first 2 games were imperative, and they did. They won those 2 games. Even if it took 7 games to win it, and in a weird way, that might be a benefit because that extends the time for Luka and Austin to get back for what will be the longest shot that I think I can remember in a very long time, even more so than the 07 and 06 Laker runs against Phoenix. Because you didn't have in his prime Kobe Bryant, even though they got whooped in 07, they got close in 06.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Joe Soro from the Joe Soro Experiment. Please like and subscribe. It is me, Gerald Glassford, as well. Thank you so much for watching this thing. Got a big crowd tonight. If you have not yet liked and subscribed, please do so. It really helps the channel out. Nick T says, Joe, in the super chat, we don't want Luka coming back, shot jacking up 30 shots again. We need a more balanced scoring like tonight with 4 guys in double figures. Just wanted to mention that to you, but let me get it to Legend because Kurt Affair, my man Kurt Affair, had a good question for you as well, Legend, for the panel. Something I mentioned earlier, I think before he came on, about JJ Redick. He says, how do you find JJ's coaching 2 games into the playoffs this time? With one notable exception, I mean, Laravia, you have to put out there because as another body, I mean, they've got not much, a whole lot of production from the bench. You know, that aside, and one notable exception, JJ has hit on a lot of right buttons. He has outcoached Ime Udoka. You said it earlier today. And again, I think that has been a key, is that JJ has learned from his previous playoff mistakes. Now, whether or not that's going to be help him against OKC, if they're able to advance, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, he has found a way to manufacture 2 wins, to get this team to manufacture 2 wins and head to Houston with a 2-0 lead.
I'm gonna say one thing I'm gonna give JJ credit on is he did a really good job of bringing the best out of Luke right now. Luke, he didn't look like this in ATL. I can tell you that he done a good job bringing this out of him. He got the guys moving right, making good rotations. The defense has been on point. Just got to give the guy a lot of credit. He's really done a good job of neutralizing both KD and Şengün. Both of them pretty much just out of this game. KD was hot the first half. Second half, he only scored like 1 point for the longest, and that's pretty rough. That's good defense. JJ is just completely out coached, Udoka at this point, and it just like I'm seeing on Twitter because that's what I was doing the whole time on Twitter. It's embarrassing. Like legit, this young core team letting a team missing Luka and Reeves put you down 0-2. That's a lot of credit that goes to JJ. He's done a really good job. He's shown a lot of growth from that last year playoff round. You can tell some moments that he has really grown, made some better decisions, better rotations, got guys in the right places. He's done a damn good job right now. You got to give him a lot of credit. Not sure they're gonna help you the next round, but we won't worry about next round right now until you get to that point. But you've done a good job. You're handling the situation, and just like Joe said, they don't beat you 4 straight times. At this point, you couldn't tell nobody that you think the Houston Rockets will win 4 of the next 5. Highly doubt it. I think this series is pretty much over. I would be stunned if Rockets would have somehow make this a competitive series. I would be really stunned. Right now, I think it's over. Let's go and end this series and let's get Oklahoma versus Lakers already. Let's go and get it over. Let's get to the next round. I think Oklahoma can get ready to sweep the Suns up out of there.
That's a great question, Alan. If the Lakers do sweep, I mean, you're assuming OKC will sweep as well. I know they'll want to start that one a little earlier than the others, but some of these games will still have to be in their 6th, 7th, as far as iteration, as far as game 6, game 7, some of the other rounds before they'll start some round 2s a little early. So my guess is a week off that the Lakers would have if that's the case, which would be great. But again, I want to get to the let's get to 3-0 first before we can start targeting that, because I want to again see what happens on Friday when the Lakers go to Houston. But Legend, you're right. JJ has hit on a lot of right buttons. He deserves a lot of credit. I know he's had an up and down 2 seasons. He's been learning a lot on the job. He has been out coached at times, but right now he is doing what he can, despite the fact, and it must be a saving grace, Legend, that Houston has just as bad a bench as the Lakers do, because nobody is coming off that bench to give either team any relief right now.
It's that the bench for both sides is garbage. It's pretty bad.
A lot of donuts I see. A lot of donuts I see.
A lot of zeros across the board, and which is why I kind of say, however this series ends, I think the Lakers look like they're gonna win it. If you're gonna beat the Oklahoma team, you're gonna have to get something from your bench. You can't run your boys in the ground, not against that young athletic core. It's not gonna work. So your bench gotta give you something. But hey, thank God, that Houston bench is just as terrible as you. So you're both equal in that part. The only difference is one side offense is so much better. They actually got a real offensive scheme, while the other one look like chickens with their head cut off and don't know what they're doing out there. So
Jeremy had a good question. He says, why is Bronny coming off the bench instead of someone like Dalton? And I could just say this. Dalton, his defense is always going to get him. He better hit 40% in this league or his defense is going to get him. Bronny comes off the bench right now, A, because of his last name, and B, because of the fact that he supposedly can handle the ball. But Joe, in what? Let me count this out, because it's not too many minutes to count out right now. It is with the Lakers. What did he do today? In 7 amazing minutes so far, Joe. 7 amazing minutes, 2 turnovers. 2 fouls in 2 games. And I'm just going to say this. Everything that JJ almost everything JJ has done he's done right, with that notable exception. Even let Drake Laravia pass because again, nobody on either bench is producing points, but having Bronny in there both games, Joe, has been an embarrassment. That's the only thing that has gone. Yeah, and thank goodness each and every time he gets the quick hook out of there so they kind of minimize their mistakes.
I don't really have a opinion on this. JJ probably put him in there to just give some of these guys a break. But I'm just not going to get into this discussion of Bronny James. You all know where I stand on this. Bronny James should not be on the team. Should be Jordan Goodwin. Imagine Jordan Goodwin on this team right now. And that's a reality that should exist. I still don't understand how this was ever allowed to happen. I don't get it. Everything could have been done without drafting. Everything could have been done where you could have put him on a G League team. Okay, he comes up, plays with his pops for a game here and there. Cool, you got all that, but this is real life. We need talent. Jordan Goodwin on this team right now would have made the team much better. So much better. And it's not they picked Marcus Smart over him. Yeah, directly and indirectly in there. Yeah, but that roster spot should have been made for Jordan. And that's bad. That's bad. That's bad business. And it's those type of things that always has a little bit of like a hook on management. Every time I sort of try to get back into the good graces of their existence, I think of things like that, and I see Jordan Goodwin play like a freaking all-star in a playoff game. I'm like, you start thinking about the Alex Caruso's, him. Those are guys that those are the glue guys that make this thing work. And we could have used another one of those guys. I've always felt, Nick T, that AR would be best off the bench on a title team. I've always said that he'd be a super
We both
six.
said that.
Yeah,
we have said that.
We said that for 3 years. Because, and more so now even because Luka's a ball handling, heliocentric type player. And that's essentially what Austin Reeves is. He's not Luke Kennard. Luke Kennard can play with Austin and Luka and LeBron because he can move around and go get open, which, by the way, Houston spent a lot of time. You want to know one of the reasons why Houston was struggling too on this is they put a lot of effort in making sure Luke Kennard was not open, and he still gave him the business. So you have an idea how mentally Şengün doing the fouling at the end there, you could see the frustration. You could see it. They are frustrated. When you frustrate your opponent, you're done. You're dead. That's why they're not making those shots. That's why they're missing assignments. That's why Marcus Smart is going into passing lanes and deflecting things. How many deflective balls did we see today? Because frustration, because they couldn't get room. They couldn't move around. You had mentioned something, Gerald, on Discord. That last shot that Durant had that was a little bit of a fadeaway mid-range. Mm-hmm. They were in there. I can't remember who's guarding, but he was.
No, it was Marcus Smart first on him, but then Jackson Hayes switched. And then at the last moment, when he stepped to the side, Jackson, Marcus Smart, or was it Rui? One of them came in and provided a second hand on him.
Yeah, and it just you just that little distraction, and you could see the trajectory of that ball was affected right out of his hands, and that's Durant's, that's his game right there, and they put a little just a thought process, if anything, and he missed a shot. It just was. It's good. It's been. Maybe I'm nostalgic too. These games remind me a lot of what basketball used to be. It wasn't this 130 to 120 game where no one's playing defense. I think it's fun to see basketball, and kind of felt a little bit bad for the refs towards the end there because you could tell everybody was on their neck. But I'm like, man, I don't know what else these guys can do. It's either they're going to call every foul or they're going to let some things go. You all know that I prefer, if you call on both sides, let them play. I don't care about whistles every 5 seconds. I hate that shit. I'd rather both teams play a little physical, and it helps that the Lakers won, of course. That always helps. But today in game one was just battle of attrition, and the Lakers just haven't won it more at this point.
JY, I think that's probably the best word. Tolerate is probably the best word for because Joe and I are not on Vandal Hill, and we've repeatedly said that we're not, and we're not going back on Vandal Hill. But he did provide some rebounding and some effort today, which was great to see because the Lakers.
I want him to succeed. I want everyone to succeed. I really, really, really do. I don't think, and even those shots that he took, that last one that he missed, it was in, man, and it came out. I mean, it's within rhythm of the offense. If you're watching the ball movement on that series and you see how he got the ball, I mean, everything was in rhythm. And he has made that shot more this year than he has in any time in his career. So you kind of give him a little bit of leeway there. And then what happens too there is if he does hit that shot, let's say twice, now the defense has to collapse towards him a little bit. Now they start to think about it. Everything in basketball is thinking. When your opponent is thinking, you're a step ahead of them. That's what you want. That's what you want as a team. You want the opposition thinking. Because if they're thinking, they cannot focus on stopping you. They're thinking too much. They're off. You know, Vince Lombardi used to say when he was beating Tom Landry's teams in the 60s. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Landry was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys and was one hell of a coach. At that time, he was kind of like the guru of coaching. Like he didn't just simply just run the ball and counter this, dive that, power this, power that. Vince Lombardi was meat and potatoes. I always called it meat and potatoes. With Tom Landry, he had a kind of a system, a sophisticated system. And what Lombardi would always say is, if the game is close, if you apply enough pressure, someone on that team is going to mess up because it's too complicated to make a decision right away. Yeah, they're thinking too much. Same thing, and it's more so in basketball. If they're thinking about Vanderbilt making that shot in the corner, you do have an advantage if you're the Lakers, because now you have to sort of pay attention to that guy. And that's kind of where that is. And Luke Kennard is killing them right now because they couldn't stop him even when they were shading towards him pretty much the entire game. And then Marcus Smart made it even worse. When Marcus Smart is hitting the threes and messing up passing lanes, that is why you got frustrated. Marcus Smart was guarding KD sometimes. Guys, KD is 7 feet tall. He won't admit it, but he's 7 feet tall. Marcus Smart is my height. He's 6'3". But he's a freaking Rottweiler. The guy's a Rottweiler. The guy's going to mess you up because that's how he's built, like a freaking football player. and he's going to be all up in your business. He knows how to play basketball. And those are the things, again, those little things. I love seeing that because that's championship metal. That's the kind of stuff that wins championships. I think maybe we're a year behind, maybe 2, but things are looking good if this is for things to come. That's kind of what I'm looking at here.
Once again, the Lakers win 101-94. Legend, let me bring it back to you. I'm sure this was one of the series a lot of people would point out that would be 1-1, or Houston, it would have the advantage heading back to Houston, but that is obviously not the case. There are other great series out there that we need to talk about. In fact, the other Western Conference series, 2 of them at least, are very competitive right now, with the concussion, very nasty fall that I know that Joe talked about earlier with Victor Wembanyama. San Antonio could not get the job done without him, and they lose to Portland. Now that he is in concussion protocol, he is going to be out at least 48 hours. He cannot get cleared if that's the case. So I'm not sure if he's going to be good to go for Portland in game 3.
Wow, are they saying he's going to be out game 3?
No, there's a standard procedure and a protocol. If he is diagnosed with an actual concussion, Joe, I don't believe he can. I'll bring it up because it was on Twitter earlier, but I'll bring it up for you. But I believe he has to be out for at least 48 hours as far as it's concerned. So let's say like it was a back-to-back game or a game is on Thursday. I seriously doubt he would be cleared to play. Go ahead, Legend. Per the NBA guidelines, Wembanyama cannot return to full participation for 48 hours, but can resume gradual activity in 24 hours as long as the symptoms don't worsen. Then he must hit several benchmarks while being symptom-free before he is cleared to play. He'll then,
you couldn't keep me from that game if you shot me in the head.
Yeah, I'm like, Joe, yeah, I'm getting back in this.
Are you fucking kidding me right now? This is a playoff fucking
hold on,
game.
He'll then require clearance from a team doctor in consultation with a league protocol doctor.
I sent you. It's a very famous video, by the way, of Larry Bird bouncing his head on the ground. He got up under his own recognizance, walked to the locker room, did whatever the hell they did back there. And guess what happened after that, Gerald?
He came out and lit up.
He came out like freaking Willis Reed again.
Yeah.
Basketball, guys, really? I can understand football. Basketball, really? When did basketball players start getting concussions? Every other week I'm hearing about concussions now with basketball. The amount of pussy in this fucking league is nauseating. Seriously? Seriously? You're going to miss playoff games because you hit your head on the floor? Is it bleeding? Did he get an owie? I didn't see any blood. It's basketball. He didn't get hit by Troy Polamalu running 400 miles an hour. Like, what the fuck is this? This is a joke. Absolute joke. I would have... You could not, in a billion years, could have kept me out of that game. Get your shit together and get up. It's not just a French thing. It's everything. Everyone's a fucking wuss. Everywhere, it seems, these days. Just horrible. That's just a joke. I'm sorry. Call me insensitive. Call me outdated. I don't give a shit what you're saying. Man, this is prime time, dude. Prime time. He's in that game. They're up 2-0. Everybody jinxed him, man. I swear to God. Every fucking article today was, oh my God. Oh, he's so great. Oh. Perkins was practically having a freaking orgasm on ESPN today. This is the greatest defender I've ever seen. Gerald, you see why I don't talk about things in my life a lot?
Mm-hmm.
See why I don't do one of these all day on Facebook?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a superstitious guy, really. But I do believe in some things. I believe in a couple things. I believe in a jinx. I believe people are jinxed because I've seen too much proof of that. The other is you keep telling everybody what the fuck you're doing, and it's some or just constant this, good. Oh, you know, something's gonna happen. You all know this already. You know I don't like compliments. You all know this. Okay, Joe, you're doing great. Thank you. And I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. Thank you when you compliment the shows, which is kind of different. When you compliment the shows, our performance, sure, yeah, you know, it's nice. I like it. I'm not a heathen either. But man, if there's too much, you're just waiting. Got to be careful. Just saying.
Well, Portland and San Antonio don't play until Friday, so
With the irony in what I just said, by the way, Gerald, is guess what my marketing team wants me to do?
What?
Yep. They want me to do those video selfies.
Yep, I bet. Look at Joe here. Look at Joe there. There you go.
Hi, you're with Sin Blades. Welcome.
And now if you do them, I'm just going to laugh my ass off.
If you buy more than one. I told the guy, I said, hey, listen, I ain't pulling no Walmart Target bullshit. I'm not doing the 10% shit. I'm Louis Vuitton. I'm not Kirkland water at Costco. Okay. We're about quality here. We're not here. There you go. See? There's too much. The reason why it's so easy to predict things here is because it keeps happening. So why is it going to stop all of a sudden? It reminds me of Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis goes through a 5-week just, whoa. Anthony Davis looks like he's in MVP mode. And then what happens, Gerald? He gets a hangnail, and now it never ends. Wembanyama, same thing. The fact that he said, oh my God, I made it through, I'm paraphrasing, of course. He made it through 65 games. I'm like, what the fuck are you planning about 65 games? What is this? You have any idea how hard it is to play in the NBA playoffs in this era, the old era? Doesn't matter what era. You got to play 2 months and probably a week to win the championship. That's a third of the year of the regular season. So you got to play another third of a year. You're worried about 65 games in the regular season when they're pampering and wiping your ass everywhere you go. He's the Prince of Zamunda of San Antonio. They just see him cough and they start bringing all the gold toothbrushes and pans and all that bullshit. Dude, toughen the fuck up, dude. Grow a pair. You got all this talent, everyone's sucking your ass, and then you have a little owie in your head. What would have happened if you got elbowed by James Harden? Would you have died? Yeah, man, this is embarrassing.
Want to also talk about what happened earlier today. Great time when the Lakers win and the Celtics lose. The Celtics, after destroying Philadelphia in Game 1, could not stop Tyrese Maxey. And I had said on NBA Observations, for Philadelphia to get any games, Tyrese Maxey has to have an all-star, not even an all-star, a superstar-like performance, and that's what they got. If you got a chance to take a look at the game, Tyrese Maxey was he was really, really good today. He lifted that team all by himself.
Well, it's good because the other thing is when Boston's not hitting their threes, that's when they're mediocre. Their whole existence is based off that 3-point shot. If they're not making that shot, they're not really scary. Which is why they've only won a championship, and it happened to be in a year where they just had the right path in the East with every single one option during that run out, and then they ended up playing a burnt out Dallas Mavericks team in the finals. Still earned, but they're not they're a one style team. They can't adjust off of that 3-point shot. No matter how good Jaylen Brown is, no matter how good Jason Tatum is. Let's see. We'll see if they can. I mean, they'll probably beat Philly. I'm not worried about that. But if they face Oklahoma City, I don't think they're going to last too long if that ends up being the finals.
Once again, the Lakers win 101-94. They're up 2-0. Game 3 is on Friday, again in Houston. Intel Wild, appreciate the super chat as always. He said, please, Lakers, sign Reeves and trade his ass so quick so we can get an athletic 3 and D. Reeves and Luka and the starting 5 won't work. Okay.
Intel, what is this shit? Trade his ass. Where's your sensitivity, man?
I'm not exactly against it. I'll just leave it at that, and I'll go from there. But Legend, I wanted to go ahead and talk about
why would anybody trade for Reeves after signing him? Why wouldn't they just pick him up as a free agent and save a year?
If you sign and trade for him, you're getting an extra year. If the Lakers sign him and then trade him immediately, you're giving that other team an extra year as far as the contract is concerned. That's why they call it sign and trade.
I know what it's called. I'm not dumb.
No, it's just teasing.
But why would you trade for him when you can just sign him as a free agent and save a year and then not have to give up any assets?
Maybe that's the agreement that they want. If they want him bad enough, they have to get him on another year.
I just don't want to pay Reeves $45 million a year.
Neither do I.
So,
but if he gets a deal for like with the Lakers, or he sets up a deal, well, let's just say Miami, and just as an example, and they say they want to sign him to a 5-year, $200 million deal. They obviously can't sign him that 5-year deal, but they need the Lakers' help in doing so. So what you do is you get the Lakers to sign him to that 5-year, $200 million deal, so you can get the extra year on it, and then you trade him for whatever assets that you need to. So
I think the Lakers should offer him 150 for 5.
Okay. Legend. The other game I couldn't get as far as with Caleb because we were actually doing the show while that game was happening was Minnesota and Denver. And Minnesota with the gutsy win down the stretch. Denver with a lot of late miscues. I know that Pinty was talking about how they should have had a timeout, but whether or not they took a timeout or not, they relied on their championship winning formula, Jokic and Murray. And in that second half, all the way to from the third and fourth quarter, Jokic and Murray, their championship duo, did not get it done. I clearly blame. I would clearly place a lot of the blame on their loss last night on those two because they just did not look like they could get it done.
Yeah, they just missed a lot of shots. Joker and them just couldn't play no defense. They got locked up. And that's just really what happened. Minnesota locked them up. Just couldn't get nothing. A lot of missed shots. There's a lot of over opportunities. Just the whole team just struggled. And, they came up short. And J.D. McDaniels he didn't lie what he said. He named each one of them one by one. He named them all personally. Can't play defense. He straight up said it. He's not wrong. He's not wrong on that part. I mean, Joker just missed a lot of bunnies. They did terrible in that fourth quarter. Could it come back and bite them? Hard to say. But we're gonna game 3 gonna say a lot. Right now, to me, the pressure is moved on to Denver. Denver has to win game 3. Can't afford to go down to Minnesota, be down 2-1. Still a long series, but to me, Game 3 became a must-win now for Denver Nuggets. You got to win that. At least kind of give yourself home court kind of back, at least. But right now, to me, the pressure have shifted completely to Denver. That was a bad loss. Like that's a game they should have been able to win, but just couldn't pull it out.
Joe, so that leads me to the question. I'm going to ask Legend this as well before we head on out. And once again, the Lakers win 101-94. Of all the teams right now with a 1-1 split that were underdogs going in, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Portland, and Orlando, which of these teams do you think can take the series from this point?
Minnesota.
Why?
They have. This is a team that's gone to the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back seasons. They have talent. I'm not a big Ant fan, and more not just outside of basketball, but also his game doesn't translate as an elite player in my view. Most people will disagree, but I find him as the perfect number two. Honestly, I think he'd be the best number two on with a number one. However, you have to also factor in that this Denver team has been around a while. Their depth isn't really there like it was a few years back. They've won already. That tends to set a little bit of complacency. Jamal Murray isn't really healthy. Aaron Gordon isn't really healthy. And Jokic has been at this for about 7 or 8 years. It's not out of – you could see him breathing at the end of these games. He is breathing very, very deeply. And at some point, he's going to start getting tired more and more year in and year out. He's not Kareem. He's not a genetic freak like Shaq. Shaq could play at 450 pounds and still whoop your ass. That's another guy that just was born to do what he did. I don't know if Denver's necessarily a choke job if they lose here. I think the West is extremely tight, other than Oklahoma City. It really is. It's a very tight. Basketball is very tight at this point. Oklahoma City is the only one in my view that has a complete team. Everyone else, San Antonio, Denver, Lakers, there's too many. There's holes in all those teams, and
I forgot to mention Atlanta too. I'm sorry, Legend. You should have corrected me on that. Atlanta too.
See, the reason why Atlanta's doing.
I was missing one.
The reason why Atlanta's doing well is when they got rid of Trey, it became a team that I think Snyder wanted originally. And I think he tried because Snyder's a good dude. He's accommodating. He understands today's player. He's a very good coach. I think he's probably one of the more, and I don't like to use this word unless it's legitimate. Everybody says something about something that's underrated. Oh my God, Michael Jordan was underrated in this thing, and LeBron was do you even know what underrated means? Snyder's an underrated coach, and he always has been. Even when he was in Utah, I thought he just didn't get enough weapons on that team to do what I think he could have done. And I think Atlanta is a good spot for him right now because they're not dealing with an ego type player. They're dealing with young players that are listening, and you also have a budding star that's about to come out. That's the best of both worlds. And when you go in and you whoop the Knicks, regardless of if the Knicks are them, doesn't matter. It's the Knicks are supposed to win. They just don't. So when Atlanta comes out of nowhere and whoops your ass in New York, it hurts a little more because it's Atlanta beating New York.
Well, CJ McCollum, I'm telling you, is the new villain in MSG.
And that's how those things start. See, that's how it starts. When you talk about Reggie Miller and what he was doing in New York, if Reggie Miller had done what he did to Orlando, no one would give a shit in the 90s. I mean, they'd care, but Orlando. But New York Knicks in New York, all of a sudden one day I'm sitting around CJ McCollum. I keep seeing CJ McCollum everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck? Is he all right? Did something happen to CJ McCollum? Then I started reading what was going on. I'm like, really?
He was brilliant in that game.
He was. And that's what happens when you beat New York or the Lakers. You become a star. Just ask Derek Fisher. Derek Fisher should get agent fees for Troy Hudson and Mike Bibby in the early 2000s. I mean, you guys all think Luka was bad on defense? Laker fans before social media, when it came to D-Fish, Troy Hudson, D-Fish, Mike Bibby, they were ready to go to Staples and find that guy. That's how vicious Laker fans were when it came to Derek Fisher's defense. It was bad. It was really bad. It was the only time where I was like, okay, I can't say anything. They were going to riot to go get Derek Fisher. At how bad he was, a turnstile on defense. But this parity in NBA has arrived, and it's been here for a while. And the fact that these guys are as soft as freaking mashed potatoes now, and the stars are even worse. Who knows? How do we know that Chet Holmgren won't, I don't know, get his funny bone hit and then he'll be out for a couple games? You think I'm exaggerating? I don't know. I don't know if I'm exaggerating anymore. These guys are soft, weak pussies. Sorry. That I don't care how hard his head on the floor. Get your fucking ass up and play. Larry Bird did it. You're a human being, aren't you? Larry Bird's a human being. Oh, protocol this. I'm like, fuck you and your protocol. This is basketball. We got to win this game. What's going to happen if Portland ends up winning the series? What would happen then? We still talking about concussions at that point? They're going to turn on this guy. You watch, because that's what these scumbags do. I'm talking about the media. I'm talking about people online. They're gonna turn on Wembyama. I'm talking about the Perkinses and all those pieces of shit. All of them are going to turn on him. And it starts like this. Concussion. A concussion in basketball. Okay. Whatever.
Legend. Let me go ahead and ask you the same question. Although I had Atlanta, New York, by the way, kind of ruins my hope that we were going to sign CJ McCollum in the offseason to like one of the mini or regular mid levels, because I think he would have just been awesome on the Lakers coming off the bench for as a heater. But it looks like he's going to go and even at 35 still get some chunk of change out there, because if he's still popping for 32, yeah, he could still be a vital resource for offense, and as a playmaker, as a guy that can come off your bench or start still in this league, as we've seen it especially for a young team like Atlanta, it's really doing something. But of all the teams that are 1-1 right now that were underdogs going in, which of those teams do you think will come out on top?
Out of all of my underdogs, I would definitely say, honestly, like the same as Joe, I would have said Minnesota. They're the best team amongst the underdogs, really, to me. And they are in the position they're the one that can really win it. The rest of them, even I really want to say my Hawks very badly, but I just don't see it. I had to see a little bit more of the others to really say if they can do it. Like if I want to choose my Hawks, I need to see you come back home and win one of these two or win both of them to really make me be like, okay, they can pull this off. Minnesota, to me, they can do it. They're in the position to do it. They have done it before. They don't beat Joker in Denver before. They can do it. Everyone else, I'm just not that confidence in. But a sleeper, I would say, who can be like a really hidden sleeper, I would say Portland right now, just because of what happened to Victor Wembanyama. We don't know how that may affect him throughout the rest of the series or anything like that. That could end up going Portland's way. So it's just hard to say, but I'm going to say Minnesota, but Portland will be my sleeper, depending on how badly hurt Victor Wembanyama could be.
Well, there you go. It's Legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Joe Sorrell from the Joe Sorrell Experiment. It's me, Joe Glassford. Thanks again for watching, listening. The Lakers win 101-94. We'll go ahead and start wrapping things up. Let you know that we'll be back on Friday night after the Lakers game. Hopefully, I can also sneak in an NBA observations as well. But Joe, before we head on out, any final thoughts on the great victory today? Let's close it out with a nice bow that we can tie on it as far as the great performance for the Lakers today as a team, as a unit. LeBron James still defying all expectations with him at 41 years of age, still leading this. These 2 days off are really benefiting LeBron James. And guess what? They get 2 days off again before they play next.
I don't know what to think about going to Houston yet. A little bit of me says Houston's going to win. There's a chance they could win both games in Houston. There's a benefit. As long as they win the series, there's a benefit if it's short or long. Long, it adds more time for the boys to get back. If it's short, that allows LeBron to heal even more for the next series. Because I think the series that's coming after that, I don't know how the NBA is going to schedule this, of course, because I do believe
they have to let the other series that are not sweeps or
right.
5 games, they would have to let them play out a little
right.
bit.
But I mean, look how well LeBron has played when he had a week off. That's that game one and how well he played. And then he had 2 more days off for game 2. The more time LeBron has, the better he comes back. He is in pretty damn good recovery when he has 2-3 a week off. So that's that. I'm so surprised at kind of what's going on here. I'm still surprised at how well they're playing. I'm very happy about it because it's shifted in so many different ways. We talked about this for a while. You have to create this system where when you do have somebody out, next man standing, next man up. But in basketball, it's a little harder in basketball because there's so few players. But these guys are making it work. Even the Laravias who aren't doing well, they somehow provide something. Even the Jared Vanderbilts are providing something. And it's not at the detriment of winning. Or it hasn't become a detriment to winning. They're still winning, and they're fairly running these last 2 games. They've been pretty much in control of the entire 8 quarters. It's not, Houston came back, led by 1 again, and then they fell off, which happens in basketball. These guys are so drenched at that point. They've been playing for like 14 minutes and they're coming back and they're coming back and they're coming back and they're just trying to come back, and then they finally come back and they take a deep breath, and all of a sudden here comes the opposing team with a 5-6-0 run, and now you're like, oh, we just got the lead with 1, and then now the Lakers are up 5 again after like 2 minutes. That does something mentally. It jacks everything up. And Houston's just jacked up right now. There's so much frustration because they don't really have a point guard that can dictate the offense. Their defense is okay. They can only do so much. They can't really cover LeBron. They can't stop Kennard from making shots. They can't stop Marcus Smart from hitting shots. They were doing pretty well in the paint, but this is 2026. You have to really guard the shooters, and if they start making shots even with good defense, then you're kind of screwed at that point. It definitely messes up your morale.
Anthony, OKC is next. If the Lakers win and OKC both win their series, that's who they would meet next.
Yeah, that was the problem with not getting the 3. That was the burner because, see, now imagine this. If they get the 3, they're playing San Antonio, and that cupcake over there, Wembanyama, that everybody loves, who knows what's going to happen in the second round should they make it there, which they probably will. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen if Marcus Smart elbows him in the thigh. Is he gonna turn into glass from Unbreakable? Like what we don't know this.
You mean Mr. Glass from Unbreakable?
They
Yes,
called me
Samuel L.
Mr.
Jackson.
Glass.
Yes. Let me ask you this though, Joe. You got a show coming up here on the Joe Saul Experiment? Talking about the Dodgers, Lakers, the
I
NFL
don't
draft.
have anything slated yet, but I know that the draft is coming. I'm going to have a Steelers show for sure coming here soon. The Dodgers, I felt bad for Yamamoto again. They're not doing something for this guy. That's what pissed me off today. It's not about the loss. It's that every time Yamamoto pitches, they give him shit.
Is it
for
the
run
old
support.
universal thing that we've seen over the years where you have this great pitcher who just gets like no run support?
He has gotten, what was it, 2 runs on the average, 2.5 runs the last 2 years.
Sounds
2.5 runs.
That sounds like it. Yep. He sounds
It's
like
terrible. Like, dude, okay, fine. Lose to the Giants on the road after a long road trip. I get it. But can you hook up your boy a little bit, man? Come on. At least with Skeens, though, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates. This is the Dodgers. These guys have backup catchers that are having all-star seasons. Hook your boy up. Hook your boy up. There was an error on the first batter, ended up creating this horrible domino effect in the first inning. They scored 3 runs, and then the Giants didn't see shit after that. The only problem is the Dodgers didn't see shit either for an entire nine innings. So, but then again, John made a good point. The Dodgers could be the Mets, and thank God they're not.
So when he does, go ahead and make sure you catch
all that
the
money in for what? I wonder if Juan Soto and his clothing allowance for his mother. I hope that lets him sleep well at night. Could you imagine this, guys? Can you imagine when you get brutal with certain people? This is why this motherfucker got. And again, it doesn't say it on paper, but the way the stipulations are, if certain things happen, this guy actually got an $800 million contract and still had the fucking nerve to ask for clothing allowance for his mother.
Of course.
I would have told him off of that. I would have said, get the fuck out of my office right now and don't ever come back. Go back to the fucking Yankees.
Okay, Andy, 725 million, but you get the idea still. Yeah.
No, that's not safe. You look at the contract. Look deeper. By the way, it's 765, not 725.
All right. Well, whatever. It's a lot of money. He can afford to buy his mom some clothes. So let's just put it that way. That was the idea. But go ahead and make sure you check out Joe Sorrell at the Joe Sorrell Experiment. And of course, we've got a show coming up for you, like I said, on Friday for a post game. But Legend, anything you're working on before we head on out? I got Next Sports Media, and your final thoughts on the playoffs so far, my friend.
I'm hoping to probably do maybe a live stream talking about the NFL draft. Hoping to. I got to see what's going on with what I'm dealing with, but I'm hoping to do that live stream wise and just kind of talk about, see what my Falcons going to do and see if we can make some moves to turn this franchise around from being a complete joke in the NFL, and then probably try to discuss a little bit of the playoffs that's coming up. And so far, I got to say, these playoffs has been interesting. The only thing I probably don't like about the playoffs so far is, just to me, just too many injuries. Just too many injuries across the board. Too many people getting hurt. And, I feel like the way these injuries are happening, it just kind of water it down a little bit. Makes it less and less interesting. So I'm just hoping the injuries kind of start dying down a little bit, and we can see these guys play their absolute best. Because nobody want to watch a series where most of the stars are out and then it just be like, not even worth watching no more. So hopefully we see less injuries continue to happen. It gets better. We don't see that many of them. And not going to lie, that path on that side of the bracket with the Spurs, depending on what happened with Victor Wembanyama, looking very, very favorable. If someone like Minnesota would have knocked off Denver Nuggets, it looks very favorable. Even though at first I thought OKC path looked favorable. But I don't know. Looking like that side might be more favorable now.
Because even if the Lakers and OKC finish off their series, early, they would still have to wait until Game 7. It's usually Game 7 in the other series or another series before they would start. The league starts at Game 1. So you're still talking about, again, 5 to 7 days before they would go ahead and start a Game 1, Lakers and OKC, which would give a lot more time for Luka and Austin to come back if they're not coming back sooner. So we will wait and see if there is any updates on Luka and Austin. We'll make sure we get it for you on our Twitter, or if there's a huge update, I'll make sure I go ahead and drop it on the channel. But also make sure you catch my Lakers Latest to start every morning for you right there on Lakers Latest, part of the Fan Arc Network. I go ahead and hit you up with about 15, 20 minutes every morning on your update with the Lakers. So look forward to that. I've got an NBA observations hopefully coming up for you guys as well. And of course, Friday night, we'll be back with the post game from Game 3. Can the Lakers do it? Can they go up 3-0? And what? Has there ever been a 3-0 series in the NBA comeback?
No.
One?
No, I don't
Never.
think so.
Okay.
Never.
All right. Well, I like
Denver
those
got
odds.
close. I think Denver got close against Utah once, but they still lost in 7
I mean,
in the 90s.
Let me see. Any NBA team come back from 3-0? No, you're right. None. So I like them odds. I like them odds indeed, if that's the case. So can the Lakers go up 3-0? We will find out on Friday. Be here for that. Catch all my stuff here on the Lakers Fast Break. Catch Legend stuff at I Got Next Sports Media. And when Joe hits you with another experiment, go ahead and crash that as well. But again, the Lakers with the victory. We're all happy. 2-0. The Lakers have got that. What the hell are you doing?
What?
I don't know. You were just like up against I thought you were trying to give yourself a shave with the microphone.
I'm looking what?
What are you looking at?
Stuff.
I don't think I want to know. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers winning 101, to 94. Truly great to have you here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Those listening on audio formats or in your on your audio format, as far as Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow us and make sure you get that 5-star review so you can go ahead
Wherever
you get your podcast. There you go. See, I finished it up for you. So you can go. Did the Kings win?
No, they lost.
That was crazy though, Anthony. Did you see that with they were behind the plexiglass? The fans shook the plexiglass behind the LA Kings team so hard that they broke the plexiglass and it shattered and it went all over. I think it was the head coach, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, just a huge chunk went all over. It's like all of a sudden you see this like and all this glass just like flying. They had to delay the game like about at least half an hour, but that was crazy. Let me go ahead and see if they won for you. Just go ahead and make sure you get that out. So I know my Golden Knights lost, so they're tied 1-1. Man, ESPN just needs to shut up because their specialist, their betting guy that they had on SportsCenter said, "Oh yeah, Golden Knights are easy pick for today." Yeah, shut up, dude. Kings lost, so now they're down 2-0 to the Avalanche. But again, it is of course the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you joining us. We'll be back for more NBA observations. And of course, on Friday, will they go up 3-0? We'll find out and let you know right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. What the hell?
What's your problem?
You're looking at something I can't, and you're sounding like something I can't describe.